section.
Therefore, we will be keeping strict time on it in order to keep the meeting moving forward. The first speaker is Ms. Levy and Ms. Clarkdale of ASC NYC. Come forward and speak.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. My name is Jill Clarkdale. I'm the Associate Director for Housing for ASC NYC, and this is Eliana Levy, who is the Deputy Executive Director for Programs for ASC NYC. And we're happy to be here tonight to give a brief update of our supported housing program, which is at 1870 Helen Parkway South and is a short-term transitional housing program for low-income New Yorkers with chronic health conditions. We've been open since July 14th, and I'm pleased to say that we had our first Community Advisory Council meeting on the 15th, and I think at least 4 of the members of the Community Advisory Council at this meeting, so I'm pleased to see that. Our entry into the community has not been without some controversy, but I have to say that the community has actually been very welcome to our residents. We have tenant meetings on a monthly basis, and all of our residents have expressed great pleasure at living in this community, have said that everyone they've encountered, whether it be in businesses or on the street, has been very friendly and welcoming. And they feel very much a part of this community. We ourselves are very happy to be here, and we hope to participate in as many public forums as we can, as many public activities as we can, and integrate fully into the neighborhood as your neighbors, and hopefully down the road your friends as well.
Well, I don't have much to add. I did want to reiterate that I understand that there have been lots of misconceptions about our program. We wanted to clarify that we're not a shelter, we are not a drug rehab. We are a supportive transitional housing program, which is for adults, single adults who need some supportive services and are being prepared over a year or 2 in our residence for independent living. So they're fairly it's a fairly stable resident population. Some people work, some people are in training programs, and we have lots of enthusiasm on our part from our residents wanting to participate in making the community, the neighborhood, a nice, a beautiful, a safe environment for everyone.
And we have a sheet available that we'll put on the table, a one-page flyer describing the program.
It's a one-page flyer describing the program. It also has contact information. It has my contact information, both email and phone. If anyone anyone else wants to join the advisory, the community advisory council.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. Wednesday.
Can't hear the question.
Can't hear the question. I hear you. Residents are aware of the admission policy regarding those who had been addicted to drugs, or those who are still on drugs.
We do not admit anyone who is an active user into the program. We do have some, and I emphasize some people who do have a drug or alcohol substance abuse history, but everyone is in full recovery and they are in programs to maintain their sobriety.
How long would somebody have had been
6 months to a year. Our preference is a year.
and that's clearance
From whatever agency, yes.
Do any of your residents have a criminal history?
No one has a criminal history of violence, of sexual offenses, of anything of that nature. There have been some people who have had some offenses, but they are,
Robbery?
no violent crimes of any kind.
Well, robbery, we didn't say violent, robbery isn't violent.
I think that they've spoken, and it's not a back and forth. I thank you.
I think they should answer the question
I
though.
wanted, okay. What I wanted to say is that we can't, because we know from experience that there will be lots of questions, and we don't want to capitalize on your time here, and you have lots of things on your agenda. We had an open house, and we're going to continue to have open houses once a month. And we invite all of you to come in. We're going to have a question and answer sessions, and we are happy to answer all those questions.
But it's a very simple question, just answer yes or no. Do they have a criminal background? You said no, not violent. I'm assuming that means yes, they do.
No, you can't make any assumptions. When I
Well, then
say,
answer.
okay, the answer is, there may be some residents who have a non-violent criminal history.
So what's a non-violent?
You know,
Don't, please. That's another time, another meeting. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Not
much.
another time, another meeting.
And I will
Any
leave
questions?
We're
Taking questions from the, no.
Okay, we will leave the flyers on the back.
No, they're not gonna take, they're not gonna take.
Thank you once again.
Chairman Prince, are you taking questions from the? From the public? Yes? No? No? Okay.
When your public
Okay.
hearings.
Okay, before the next speaker, we'd like to acknowledge the presence of Ariel from Councilman Lavacca's office. Who's this?
Called the other day, she sounded 12 years old.
Okay, representative from Senator Klein. Dan, stand up there. Okay, and we also have Patrick Recchio from the Bronx Times Reporter. And Mr. John Doyle of the Health and Hospitals Corporation.
I'm not here on behalf of Jacoby, just to be clear. Yeah, thank you.
Next speaker is Miss
Why do they have that?
Ellen Bruzilius. Did I get that right?
Pretty close. For sale.
Bruzili, okay.
Hello all, I am Ellen Berzelius, Director of Bartow Pell Mansion Museum, and I am here to tell you about some upcoming programs, one in particular that we'd like to get the word out on that's coming up in October. We are celebrating the centennial this year of the Bartow Pell Conservancy, and we've had a lot of diverse programs going on. Is that? Not working? Better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I'm here from Bartow Pell Mansion Museum in Pelham Bay Park. We're one of the 23 historic trust houses of New York City. We have many interesting programs this year to celebrate the centennial of the Bartow Pell Conservancy, and one of them is coming up in October, and it is our Discover Bartow Pell Day. It's part of the Open House New York weekend, and we will be open that afternoon from 12 to 4 with free, with tours of the mansion and the carriage house with costume docents, 19th century crafts and games for kids, activities in our children's garden for children, guided tours of the newly restored formal sunken garden, which we won a Partners in Preservation grant to redo in 2012, and live music, banjo and washboard, with a husband and wife duo called Cracked Walnuts, and tables with bric-a-brac and fun things for sale. And all in all, it should be a great fun time. We're really trying to get the word out about Bartow Pell and all the diverse programs we have, and we hope you will join us.
What day in October was
October, did I forget that? Saturday, October 11th from 12 to 4 p.m. And there are flyers as well as calendars for the months of September and October on the back table.
Very nice.
Next speaker, Joseph Odo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, members of the community. I'm with the Pelham Bay taxpayers. I sit on their board. I've also been requested to be chairman of the advisory committee for the Pelham Grand. And there are two things I want to do tonight, really. Reassure the community that we are going to represent your interests. If you have any concerns, you have any observations, get them to us. We'll make sure the management hears it. We're also going to make sure, as a committee, that the management comes before us and says they are not a shelter, that they will not be a shelter. And if we get wind that they're not sticking to their mission, we're going to sound the alarm. We're going to let the community know. Okay, so we're not going to be there decorating a meeting room once a month. You know, we're going to do our due diligence. We're going to do whatever we can. And we do reach out to the community. I reach out a lot of times. I don't have favors, whether it's a right or a left. Don't worry about it. You got a concern, come to us, and we'll have an open and fair discussion. The other thing is the Capri. Now, the comments I want to make about the Capri do not apply to the Pelham Grand. It's a different situation. It is a shelter. And I want to encourage our leadership, the board and our elected officials, that they should ask for a National Labor Relations Board inquiry into how those labor negotiations took place. Because the labor board, their regulations are very specific. When you're negotiating a union contract or renewal of a union contract, you cannot be negotiating with someone else on the side. And if you are, there are serious repercussions. So, and there is a vehicle. The labor board will conduct an investigation. We need to know whether this property owner was speaking to the city of New York at the same time he was supposed to be negotiating with labor. Because if he was, we're going to be using our tax dollars to undermine unions, to undermine middle-class jobs, and that is totally unacceptable. So I strongly encourage the leadership of the board to ask our elected officials to request from the National Labor Relations Board an inquiry into how those negotiations took place. Thank you.
Next speaker, Joe Bellini. Is that right? Bellini or Bellini?
Good evening, everybody. I remember being here 10 years ago talking about St. Paul, but a completely different situation. It was the traffic. But the traffic is still there. I just got
Please use the mic.
from the 45th precinct, and they say there's been 35 accidents on St. Paul Avenue in the last 3 years. So that's the main thing. Oh, and the thing that's going on with the Pelham Grand, to me it seems like they're whitewashing a lot of things, and a lot of people, I don't know what's going to happen over there, but you got to take a real good interest in that place. And we also sit in the front of the 911 call center, which is going to be the East Coast Anti-Terrorism Center. So there's a lot of things going on in Pelham Bay. The station, the homeless, there's a lot of things. You've got to give Pelham Bay a lot of attention. Thank you.
Louis Rocco.
I'd like to give my time to Egidio Semitelli.
Okay. Andy Vasquez.
I'd like to
Do I
give my
come up then? No, you're gonna wait
It's
until...
your time yet. Mr. Andy Vasquez.
I'd like to give my time to Allison Walsh. She's also
Okay, Miss Allison Walsh.
Yes. You calling me up now, sir? Okay. Hi.
Strap on.
Hi, my name is Allison Walsh. I'm a longtime member of the community. I have 2 young boys at PS304, and I'm here tonight to represent families in our school that are concerned about the homeless shelter that is being proposed for Whitestone Capri. I understand that it's not actually bought, and I know that's been said in the papers, but it's actually leased to the city. So I'm asking Community Board 10 to appeal to our officials to have our voices heard downtown. that we don't think that's the best place for a homeless shelter for two reasons. Number one, there's no infrastructure to support the families that they're looking to house there. There's not enough schools, we're already overcrowded, there's no busing, there's no trains. I feel that if a family's in a bad place, that situation, that location would make them feel more destitute. I also feel that the Bronx is a beautiful borough. We definitely care. We've opened our arms to many types of programs that have helped families throughout the years, but unfortunately, as a borough, we've carried the burden of the city. And as a borough, we take up 17% of the population of New York City, but we have over 40,000, is it 40 or 32,000 members of families in shelters here in the Bronx. And that just seems really unfair. And it's very unfair now because so many great things are happening in the Bronx. We've had 2 new malls, we have the golf course going up, we have microbreweries popping up. A lot of exciting things are happening, and I really do feel like it's our time, it's our renaissance. Brooklyn has had theirs, Queens has had theirs, it's ours. And I just really feel like this is a really bad time to put another burden on our shoulders, because as a borough, we're already struggling. We have the highest dropout rate, we have the highest cancer rate, we're the unhappiest people in the country, and I have statistics to show that. So I feel like as young families who want to stay and raise their children here, this is just another obstacle for us to overcome. So I really am asking Community Board 10, I don't know where you are in this subject, but please write a letter on behalf of the citizens in this community to say this is not the best choice for the homeless families that they want to place there, and it's not the best place for the families that are already living here.
Ms. Walsh, I guess what I need to do here, really probably would have did during my report. However, we have been making active efforts regarding the Capri Whitestone. Unfortunately for us, again, this is my first full board meeting, so this is really tough on me because I'm dealing with 2 situations there now. But we have tried to voice that concern. There is a current emergency situation declared in New York regarding the homeless, and due to that emergency status, they are able to pick their sites within 7 days, and they say there'll be community engagement. There has not been, and going forward, we're looking to find out why that didn't occur. We're looking to try and speak and reason with them regarding it, but we have been rebuffed quite harshly, all right? We've already sent out a letter, which our borough president followed on with a letter as well. And reaction to the letter makes me feel very bad. However, we're not gonna stop giving the community's feelings and voicing their concerns about this, because as you said, this is a time for us for renaissance, okay? And I say for myself personally, I just feel that our fight is not about the homeless clients. We have a compassionate heart. We might have been somewhere else in the community where this may have happened, but this is not the place for it, because this is a place where we thought we would see significant economic development, and that has been pushed to the side. All I can tell you is that we will continue fighting it. We will continue looking to work going forward, because the way the situation is in the city now, as I had said prior to the Capri happening, this is going to happen more and more in our board as well as other boards of the Bronx, and we have to become unified to make our voices heard. So we have been making efforts. They haven't brought us any success to this point, but we haven't stopped those efforts. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
Have they answered any questions in regards to the number of
We don't take questions from the audience. Sorry.